Thank you for having me. I want to thank Dr. Eschel and Mrs. Fleischman, who is in North Carolina right now celebrating her aunt's 80th birthday, for inviting me, and I'd like to thank Philip for introducing me. You're all celebrating the year of food, wellness, global justice, and Judaism. We live in a great country where everyone can freely celebrate their faith. We need to continue pushing for all people to be treated justly around the world, wellness and food. Those last two I know quite a bit about. I was an overweight kid who was not very good at team sports. I could not do a push-up or pull-up, and in just a few sit-ups, I got picked on about my weight. My family, though, is very athletic. They are Olympic ski jumpers and cross-country skiers, skating coaches to 300 Olympic and world champions, World Cup skiers, Hall of Fame athletes, national-level soccer players, and multiple-time Ironmen. And they are all skinny. They can eat everything and never gain weight. I look at food and I gain weight because I have a slow metabolism. Because my family was so active, I tried a lot of sports with them. But the only sport I felt comfortable about was doing swimming, because I was fat, and fat floats. And I could swim easily while my brother and sister, who are both very skinny, had to swim a lot to stay afloat. When I was 6 years old, my parents did their first Ironman triathlon, which is a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and 26.2-mile run that must be completed in less than 17 hours. When I crossed the finish line, I was hooked. I wanted to be a triathlete and do an Ironman. I researched on the internet and found out the world's youngest Ironman was the 14-year-old son of Michael Collins, of the creator of the Ironman race, John Collins. In 1979, Michael Collins completed the 140.6-mile race in 25 hours. Then they reduced the time limit to the 17-hour race and raised the minimum age to compete to 18 years old. I didn't care. I started to train and to do races. My weight started to go down. Many kids at school thought I was cool because I was doing races that usually adults do. At 10 years old, I was the youngest to complete the Columbia Olympic distance triathlon, which is a 0.9-mile swim, 25-mile bike, and a 6.2-mile run. The USA Triathlon director who allowed me to race told me he was also an overweight kid until he was 19 years old. I told him about my dream about becoming the world's youngest Ironman. And he looked at me and he told me to keep training and that he would be watching. He was watching. Every race I did for the next 2 years, he took a huge risk. He allowed me to do his half Ironman when I was 12. And I completed it. I was the youngest half Ironman, but an Ironman is much more difficult than a half Ironman. My half Ironman time when I was 13 the next year, the USA Triathlon officials said it had to be a lot faster for me to compete in the full Ironman distance. So, through 4 6-foot chops of waves and a forest fire, I did not give up. I broke the world record by almost 10 hours. Why did I start lobbying Congress, the President, and the President's Council on Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition? 2 reasons. First, adults were listening to me about how to get their kids off the couch and motivated to do exercise. I told them to go exercise with their kids. It worked. And they would see me at another race, and their kids were there either volunteering or racing. Second, no young people were up on Capitol Hill speaking for us. Only adults that really didn't remember what it was like to be overweight and going to middle school and high school. At first, they were not listening. So I wrote a book and sent it to all 435 members of Congress and 100 senators. Then I went and visited them. I continued to visit them. Now they're listening. They all know that when I'm there in around, they have to take the stairs rather than the elevator. Some of them take the stairs all the time. I feel an obligation to help as many of the 200 million overweight Americans as possible, because people help me. I've just finished my second book, which is an eating and exercising guide. I want to read some of the parts of my second book and then take some questions. What's interesting about the 200 million Americans who are overweight and the 100 million of those who are obese is that they did not get overweight and obese over the last few months. Most Americans have been overweight and obese all their lives. They have a habit of being overweight. They have a habit of eating too much. They have a habit of not exercising enough. They have a habit of eating too much really good tasting junk food. For the record, I really like that good tasting junk food too. And I eat it occasionally. But I just like fruit and vegetables. Overweight people usually do not have the habit of eating too much nutritious food. But you can become overweight by eating too much good food and not exercising enough. I have been told by a few overweight people that they have an overactive thyroid condition, so that exercising and eating less or eating healthier food will not help them. Since I have not gone to medical school, I cannot agree or disagree with them. But none of these people were eating healthy or exercising to prove that it really didn't help them. In the chapter I called Getting Started, I wrote, "Do not change anything you eat, or the amount of time you exercise today, even if you don't exercise at all. I'm hereby electing you president of your health and fitness for the next 100 days. I chose 100 days, not because there's some magic formula that I read about. If you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit, or because everyone reports on the president's first 100 days, but because the people I surveyed took between 70 to 130 days, 130 bites of food per day. 100 is the average between 70 and 130. A bite of food is not the number of times you chew it, but rather when you bite. A bite is the action of getting a mouthful of pizza or a spoonful of cereal into your mouth. A bite is what you do with a chunk of steak after you pick it up with your fork and put it in your mouth. And a bite is also a spoonful of ice cream that you put in your mouth, or the chunk of candy bar that you put in your mouth. Start today by eating one bite of healthy food today. You get to choose the healthy food. If you normally eat 100 bites per day, you can eat 101 bites per day and still eat all the junk food you and I enjoy. Even if you added bites of healthy food for the next 30 days to your normal 100 bites of junk food, eventually you would start eating less junk food because your stomach can't keep expanding forever. Each swallow of soda or sugary energy drink or beer or wine or hard liquor equals one bite of junk food. Yes, one swallow of water or 100% of fruit juice or sports drink, like Gatorade, the sports drink only count if you drink them during or right after exercise, equals one healthy bite. One swallow of chocolate milk after exercise counts as a healthy bite, because chocolate milk is a healthy recovery drink. Drink after exercise. It does not make sense to drink a huge container of chocolate milk after walking for only 1 minute, or jumping rope only for 1 minute, or doing a let-down push-up. So make sure you are using common sense when drinking chocolate milk, or as a recovery drink after exercise. Once you have eaten your one healthy bite, write down what it was on the first page of your 100 healthy history pages in the back of the eating and exercise guide. I am not saying that you need to eat a whole salad just one bite. You don't have to eat a whole piece of celery just one bite. I do not want you to eat a whole cup of yogurt, just one spoon. It equals one bite. Forget about eating a whole carrot. Just eat one bite. Do not eat a whole apple, pear, orange, banana, peach, pomegranate, just one bite. You're going to want to be a hero and take more than one bite, but don't. You have to, the rest of your long, healthy life to be a healthy habits hero. Just take one bite today and write what it was on the first page of your healthy history pages. Now that you have swallowed your own one bite of healthy food and written it down on the top of the portion of your first 100 pages of your 100 healthy history pages of eating exercise guide, it's time to exercise. Do not worry. The eating healthy was easy, and the exercise part will be easy too. Pick an exercise, any exercise. You could pick getting off the couch one time today, which is the same motion as a squat. You could pick walking for 1 minute. You could pick jogging for 1 minute. You could pick walking up one step. Walking down one step won't count because that's not exercise. Your exercise can be anything from jumping rope one time to swimming one lap of a pool, or rowing for 1 minute. I'm sure some of you are wondering if doing a 1 minute workout video counts as the answer. The answer is yes, if it is an active portion of the video. Make sure you ask yourself, as you choose your exercise, if 10 people you live active lifestyles exercise every day would consider what you want to do as exercise. Walking around your office or school for an extra minute without workouts or fellow students to walk with you. Getting out of the chair without using your hands to help push yourself up is a great exercise for your butt and thighs. Leg lunges are a great exercise which keep your legs, butt, and core in great shape. Once you have chosen and completed your first day of exercise, write down what you did and how many repetitions or minutes you did your exercise for on the bottom of the portion of the first page of the 100 healthy history pages of this eating and exercise guide. That was easy. You've started to rewrite your own personal healthy history, and it only took a few minutes. Adding one bite of healthy food or liquid and one more repetition or minute of exercise will also be easy. Think about it. 19 days from now, if you have chosen yogurt, salad, apples, and vitamin water as your healthy foods, and walking as your exercise, you'll have been eating healthy and exercising for 20 straight days. Your typical day and intake of junk food will not have to change very much. Yes, you will have walked for 20 minutes after adding one more minute per day for 19 days. You could drink that 16 ounces vitamin water during your walk, and 60 ounces is about 10 bites of healthy food as long as you were exercising or drank it right after you walk. You can still eat all your junk food because you can easily fit in 3 bites of salad, 3 bites of apple, and 4 spoonfuls of yogurt. The most important thing to remember as you rewrite your healthy history is that if you fail to add one more bite or fail to add one more repetition or minute of exercise, it's okay. It is okay if you get stuck on at 25 minutes of walking and 25 healthy bites of food for a while. Maybe you'll get to 60 minutes of walking and your schedule or the seasons change and you only have 30 minutes per day to exercise. No problem. Choose a different exercise or make your walking exercise more intense so you get the same exercise benefit. You could jog slowly for 20 minutes, and in 10 days, when you get to 30 minutes, you could jog faster for 20 minutes. You can also change to let-down pull-ups and start walking. Again, beginning at 60 minutes or jogging faster for 20 minutes when the weather is nicer. Remember, you train your body for 60 days to be able to walk for 60 minutes. Do not forget, you created your healthy history. It is yours and yours alone. You own it because you created it and you earned it. Do not give away your healthy history.